Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Those be the men that I learned this truth from. I want to say Yahweh Shemel Shai Barakatham to the hopefully elect, to the sincere believers. This is just a real quick. Try to keep this short, sweet, to the point. Because pretty much, man, I did a video going into these shortages of these semiconductors. All right. Which I'm gonna leave this another video, leaving this untitled for a reason. All right, volume 6, because the last leaving this video untitled volume 6, that's the video that got taken down and was pretty much going in the same subject. So hopefully they don't take this video down, because in the other video I played a couple of clips and whatnot, and then they took it down for medical misinformation, which I didn't really get into the jab or anything like that. Nothing really spoken about as far as medical wise. It's just pretty much going into the Revelations 13, 16, and 17, which they're lately they've been cracking down on videos dealing with the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. All right. And labeling them as medical misinformation, which, like elder brothers have brought it out, man. If they are labeling those videos, if they're taking them down for medical misinformation, it just goes to show you how it all ties in, all right, to the beast system and things of that nature. It just shows, it goes to show you how, pretty much, man, they're taking videos down, those videos down based on medical misinformation. It's all it all ties into the same thing. All right, because like I said, man, the previous video, I'm pretty much touching on this. I didn't speak on the jabs or I didn't speak on none of that stuff, but nevertheless, I'm gonna just read this article real quick. It's a short article, because I'm gonna try to keep this brief. The title here says, "Top U.S. Auto Group calls for lawmakers to beef up chip production amid shortages." All right, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and I have a lot of videos queued up, just looking to get more information on this, because there's a lot of they've been bringing it out lately a lot about these chip shortages. All right, because pretty much, man, everything in the society runs on some type of computer chip. Joe Biden, not too long ago, just like a month or two ago, he signed an executive order to pretty much ramp up production of these semiconductors, I'll call them. All right. Because again, pretty much everything in the society pretty much runs off these semiconductors. All right, and this is why I often say concerning the mob, all right, the mark, it's not coming, all right, because a lot of people, they're talking about how it's coming, all right, the mark is coming, and I've been saying for years, man, the mark is not coming, it's already here, all right, it's all around us, because again, everything. A lot of what the society runs off of, these semiconductors play a major factor in it, in the society and how things run. All right, but reading on, it says the global chip shortage, which has forced automakers to dial back production or in some cases suspend production, in the latest example of supply chain bottlenecks. The shortage is so impactful on the U.S. auto sector that an industry group Monday urged lawmakers on Capitol Hill for support. Chip disruptions could result in 1.28 million fewer vehicles produced this year, and bottlenecks may persist well into the second half of the year. Given the importance of the chips to current auto production and future automotive innovation, it would be regrettable if none of the funding under the Chips for America Act, once appropriated, was used to increase the resiliency of automotive supply chains through the construction of new facilities that produced or can produce auto grade chips. All right, jumping on down. I'm gonna skip this part. I'm gonna read this paragraph. It says the trade group said the federal government could designate a particular percentage that is reasonably based on the projected needs of the auto industry be allocated for facilities that will support the production of auto grade chips. Bozella's trade group represents major auto. Let's skip that part. It says the global chip shortage has crushed many automakers after some of their plants in the U.S. and other locations outside of the U.S. have idled factories. In March, the Biden administration requested $37 billion in funding for legislation to boost chip manufacturing in the U.S. Biden has also signed an executive order to address the semiconductor chip shortage. Yeah, like I said, maybe it was in March, but I think this is referring to, like I said, the executive order Biden signed to ramp up production of these semiconductors. All right, he described them as little computer chips, and he even showed it. He even showed what it looked like. Because I played the clip and also played another clip on pretty much going into I think it was Governor Newsom, if I'm not mistaken. Because with the whole talks with the with these immigrants, which technically this is their land. They can't be immigrants in their own land, but because the question being, why is Biden allowing all these immigrants to come in? All right, and pretty much, man, all in all, long story short, is to put these semiconductors in them, because ultimately that's what it's about. All right, getting these implantable devices inserted into everyone. All right, so because putting the pieces together, that it makes sense to why they're been allowing all these immigrants to across the border. Going back to this guy Newsom, if I'm not mistaken. All right, that's what he mentioned. He pretty much wanted to tag them with these chips. All right, so again, putting the pieces together, it makes sense. It makes sense. Biden want to ramp up the supply to these semiconductors, because like I said, the society, these semiconductors play a major role in society. Everything runs off these semiconductors. Everything from the phones, technology is just pretty much everything runs on these semiconductors. So like I said, because I've been hearing a lot of stuff, and I got a lot of videos queued up that I'm gonna get into, going into these shortages of these semiconductors or these chips. All right, but it says the shortage is not just centralized in the U.S. Auto plants worldwide have idled factories due to the lack of chips. One striking feature of the global supply chain turmoil is widespread issues. The semiconductor shortage and its drag on the auto production have garnered significant attention. Goldman economist Jan Hatzius notes the shortage of everything is underway. And I'll probably look into who this guy is, because another good thing, watching these economists. All right, because outside from what, of course, the apostles and elders, the prophets, the men of the Lord have been saying, concerning these, economy collapse, the collapse of the dollar. A lot of these economists, they can, they can see the fine print. They can see it. All right, and they're pretty much predicting it. All right, like I said, outside from the prophets, of course, these guys, these people, man, they can see it. There's a lot of talk of the impending dollar collapse. All right, and pretty much, man, what's going to replace that? It's going to be these semiconductors or these implantable devices. It's going to be these Revelation 13, 16, and 17s. All right. So again, it only makes sense why Joe Biden is ramping up the production of these things, you know, and this has to constantly be pushed because, like it's often said, man, this is one of the major signs, all right, one of the major prophecies to be on the lookout for concerning the Revelation 13, 16, and 17s, all right, the charagma, you know, because soon, man, you got a lot of because like I said, man, it's important to continue to reiterate and stress this point concerning Revelations 13, 16, and 17, because I got a lot of Israelite groups, man, that's still kicking the prick, so to say. They're still speaking against this, all right, and because a lot of these groups, man, they're the leaders or whatnot, teaching their congregation contrary to what the doctrine says, man. Right, a lot of Israelites are going to perish. A lot of Israelites are going to, pretty much, get destroyed, man. And the blood is going to be on. It's going to be in the hands of these different leaders or whatnot, of these different groups or whatnot. All right, because you even got people that aren't in the truth, people that are in the world, man. They're waking up to the fact. They're putting the dots together. They're putting the pieces together. So this is important, man. Like I've often been saying as well, man, the beast is speaking, man. The image of the beast, the beast is speaking, all right? And he's speaking louder and louder, all right? And I'm going to get this, man, because, again, man, soon it's not going to be a thing of, constant reminding and, repeating ourselves over and over, man. Soon this thing is going to be, it's going to be in our face, all right? So, soon we're going to be put in a position, like this says in Revelations, the hour of temptation, man. We're all going to be put in this position to where you're either going to accept it or not. All right, because sure enough, man, this is what it is, man. Get this in Habakkuk 2:1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower," because that's what calling yourself a teacher, a prophet, or whatever the case may be. All right. This is because it's more than just calling yourself a prophet or whatever the case may be, man. There's responsibilities that come with it. All right. You can't half-ass in this thing. You either got to be with it or pretty much kick rocks. Because Yahweh Shemel Shai isn't looking for a half-ass Israelite. All right. You're either going to be in this 100% or not. Because, like I said, there's responsibilities that come with this, and part of that responsibility, man, is matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Revelations real quick. Revelation, all right. Apostle Elder Tahar, it applied to me when he mentioned how we gotta stop saying revelations. All right, it's revelation. So that was a cut to me. So I gotta get in the habit of saying revelation. But Revelation 1 I started verse 2, Revelation 1 and 2. It says, "Who bear record of the word of the Most High?" Matter of fact, I started verse 1. "The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which the Most High gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John." All right, and pretty much, because knowing the disciples, man, all right, pretty much, man, the same followers that followed after Yahweh Shai, over 2,000 years ago, they're back today, filling their lots as disciples of Yahweh Shai. All right, they're still doing the work today, they're continuing the ministry on today. All right, where's that precept at? There's a precept that talks about how. Let me see if I can look for this real quick. If not, then I'm just going to continue on. All right, because pretty much, man, the scriptures talk about how Yahweh Shai, man, Yahweh Shai pretty much said that we won't, since he's not here to finish the work physically himself. All right, it pretty much that lot will be left on the disciples, we would be doing more work. Not to say that we're better than Yahushua, but again, because the fact that, we're not, he's not here to do it himself. All right. Um, where would that be at? I don't think this is it. That might be in John, St. John. Um, that's probably in St. John. Um, where would that be at, man? Because like I said, Yahushai. Let me see if I can look for this real quick. Because remember, the servant is not greater than the master. All right. Because again, yeah, here it is. I think this is it. Because like I said, because Yahushua is not here to do the work himself, all right, physically, all right, he left his spirit here for us to do, continue in the work. And he said this in St. John's chapter 14 and 12. It says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." All right. So again, because the disciples, those that follow Yahushua back then, over 2,000 years ago, he will put that spirit on them, all right, because they're back today, continuing and walking that same walk that they did over 2,000 years ago, all right. And again, being that Yahushua is not here to do it himself, all right, and that's why the scriptures talk about how the harvest, the labor is plenty, all right. There's plenty of work that needs to be done, but very few laborers to do the work, roughly paraphrasing it, all right. Because like I said, man, being a teacher, being a prophet, whatever the case may be, it's more than just sitting on your ass all day. There is responsibilities, like the saying goes with the Spider-Man, man. With great power comes great responsibility. All right, and being a prophet is the highest office, pretty much. That's like the highest title, so to say. Because like when you read during King David, all right, even though King David was a king, all right, he was a prophet as well. But you read about individuals like prophets like Nathan, all right, which a prophet, in the scriptures, man, a prophet has a higher seating than the king, all right, because again, prophet is like the highest, that's like the top of the top right there, all right, and again, with more power comes more responsibilities. All right, and again, part of the going back to Revelation, man, because again, part of being a watchman, all right, um, staying in a watchman and pretty much reporting on these things, reporting on the news and what's going on, warning the people, like the scripture say, man, because what does a watchman do? He warns the people. He warns the people of oncoming danger, so on and so forth. This is part of the responsibilities of being a watchman. All right, so going back to Revelation 1:1, it says, "The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which the Most High gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass." All right, and we're living in that time where these things will come to pass, because remember, man, over 2,000 years ago, all right, that was pretty much the starting of the end, all right, and that was over 2,000 years ago, so how much more now? How much closer are we now, 2,000 years later, over 2,000 years later? It says, "He sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John." All right. And again, being that, when we get the message, man, start with the top, the heads, the apostles and elders, of course, and all of them, they the spirit works through them. All right. And then in turn, man, they passed, they relay the message, they pass it on down. All right. And then, in turn, man, we study and whatnot, The Spirit sups with us and, builds us up and whatnot. And then in turn, man, we're supposed to, go out, teach and warn the people and whatnot, because like I said, it's more than just sitting on your ass all day. There's a lot of stipulation that comes with this. All right. But reading on, it says, who bear record of the word of the Most High and of the testimony of Yahushua Hamashiach and of all things that he saw. All right. Because pretty much, man, when it came to the prophets, all right, the men of old, the prophets of old, man, you know, they spoke on everything that it was commanded of them. All right. They didn't hold anything back unless it was told them, because like going back to Moses, those I think it was the 40 days and 40 nights that Moses was receiving those those when he was getting that manna. All right, he was in the chariot getting those breakdowns and whatnot. There were certain things that he was told to reveal, and there were certain things he was told to hold back. And those things that he was told to reveal, all right, he didn't hold it back. All right, because again, man, we get the message and we relay the message. All right. And again, because this is part of the message, man, concerning the Revelation 13, 16, and 17. This is part of the message, man. All right. Because like I said, man, these are the times that we're in, and it's important and it's serious. All right. Because, hey, if you take it, if you partake in it, then Yahweh Shem Shah is going to destroy you ultimately, But nevertheless, all right, because nobody can say that they weren't warned. No one can say they weren't told, and I don't know about anyone else, but I don't want that blood on my hand. All right, it's bad enough I got to deal with a lot of shit as it is. I don't want that blood on my hand. So, again, this is why I support men to report on these things, Verse 3 says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. All right, and again, we are in that time, all right, where these prophecies are speaking. So I'm going to get that in Habakkuk. Is that what I wanted? So I think that's all that I wanted on that. Because I don't know if this is what I wanted, but the scriptures talk about, reading and watching. See if I can look for that real quick. That might have been that might have been it. What I wanted. Well, I mean, because this is good too. Revelation 16 and 15, it says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. Yeah, because if you're always, like, the saying goes, man, if you stay ready, you don't have to be ready. Because concerning those that are staying on their watch, those that are alert, walking circumspectly, always on their P's and Q's, man, always keeping their head on the swivel, paying attention to prophecy. It's not going to be a surprise to them when all hell starts breaking loose. It's not going to be a surprise to them when, these things are, in motion and they're happening. All right. Because they stayed on their watch. It says, it keepeth his garments lest he walk naked, and they shall see his shame. All right. And basically, man, keeping your mind occupied on prophecy, meditating on this, on these prophecies, these scriptures, these precepts, indulging yourself with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. Because again, like it says, man, wisdom, knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right. So if you stay in your watch, man, you stayed occupied in these, if basically, man, you put Yahweh Shem Shai first and foremost above all everything else, man, you're gonna be all right. All right. Because again, hey, man, these people are in for a rude awakening. They have no idea what's getting ready to happen. All right. And here it is, the prophets. They've been out there 30 plus years, 35 years. All right. Warning, giving out the warnings and being watchmen. All right. So nobody can say that they didn't know. All right. But going back to Habakkuk 2, because again, man, it's important to speak on these things. Again, the fact that Biden is ramping up production of these semiconductors, man. You know, these because like I said, man, you know, that was the video that they took down. All right, because I played a couple of clips or whatnot, you know, going into it, you know, but nevertheless, Habakkuk 2:1 again, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. It says, and then Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So again, because we're in that time where these prophecies are speaking, man, and they're, like brothers say, always say, man, things are speeding up, man, things are ramping up quickly. Here it is, Joe Biden just you know, because he said something about how pretty much he wanted the, you know, the jabs available by May or something like that, but now he pushed the date up to like April 19th or something like that, by like mid-April or something like that. All right, because that devil's getting ready to come down with that great wrath, man. You know, and we're getting inching closer and closer to the hour of temptation. All right, so it's important to again, you know, keep saying it's important to speak on these things, man. You know, because hey, we're in the time where these prophecies are going to speak. They're going to come to pass. All right, we're going to witness these things in this lifetime. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right, because, you know, day goes by, man. You know, years go by, man, and it just seems like, hey, you know, nothing's really going on. You know, there might be a little spurt of you know, things happening, like with the protests and riots and things like that. And then, you know, there's like a certain time period where, you know, things may have died down. You know, it seems like nothing's going on. You know, that could be conflicting to one. All right, if you're not built up in the spirit, you know, that can be discouraging. You know, and it is discouraging. You know, I've done, you know, a few videos on how, pretty much not to get discouraged. All right, because, you know, like the scriptures talk about the peace and safety. All right, when people think themselves to be in good case, man, all right, that's when the Lord's gonna, you know, hit you, you know, come as that thief in the night, man. That's when he's gonna, this is all of a sudden, just this all hell's just gonna break loose all of a sudden, man. You know, and soon it's gonna be a thing of, hey, man, you better take this Revelation 13, 16, and 17, or face certain death. All right. Because once they start coming out with those things, man, things are really going to speed up. Things are really going to go by quickly. All right, time is really going to fly by. And that's what the Lord said that he would do. Yahushua said he would do that for his elect's sake. He would speed the days up for his elect's sake. All right, because, you know, when this thing is in full effect, man, it's going to be bad, man. We're already entering into bad times. Like I said, we're little by little, we're entering into you know, the hour of temptation, man. We're inching closer and closer to the hour of temptation. You know, because things are going to get bad, man. And when this thing really is out there, things are really going to, you know, we're really going to be in some really going to be in some trying times. All right, we're coming into some real trying times. All right, but nevertheless, man, this is, amen. Not gonna stop speaking on these things until Yahweh Shem Yahushai says enough is enough. Because, like I said, man, you know, a lot of the stuff is repetitive. All right, it's repetitory. You know, you got a lot of jakes, man. They want to get into deeper stuff, man. They trying to incorporate different philosophies and bring it into the truth because they're getting bored. You know, being that, you know, the men of the Lord, man. Again, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have been pretty much saying the same thing for 30 plus years. You know, Jake is getting bored. You know, and this is why, you know, there's a lot of wayward doctrines, you know, which the scriptures warn us as well to beware of these heresies, man, these false doctrines and whatnot, man. All right, because Jake is getting bored, but nevertheless, going to keep speaking on these things until Yahweh Shem Shai says so, until he says that's enough. All right, and like the scriptures say, man, that's when they're going to realize a prophet had been among them. That's when they're going to know that, hey, man, those niggas, those bums, all right, they were right, you know, but by then it's going to be too late for a lot of them. So hopefully this was edifying, you know, hopefully they don't take this video down. Once again, I'm going to give all acknowledgement to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors, much respects to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time, Lord's will, say shalom.